By 2030, India aims to generate 500 gigawatt of energy from non-fossil sources, meet 50% of its total energy requirement from renewable sources, reduce its carbon emissions by 1 billion tons, and reduce the carbon intensity of the economy by 45%. By 2070, the country aims to have net zero carbon emissions.
These are the goals that India has set for itself at COP26 to reduce its carbon emissions to combat climate change. To help India do so, an amendment to the 2001 Energy Conservation Act was brought to Parliament in the 2022 monsoon session. The bill was introduced, discussed, and passed in Lok Sabha and is now pending before Rajya Sabha. Let's take a look at its provisions. The central government enforces the efficient use of energy and its conservation in several ways. This includes prescribing efficiency standards for energy-intensive industries like railways, iron and steel, and other commercial establishments.
The 2022 amendment empowers the central government to impose obligations on certain designated industries to meet a minimum share of energy consumption from non-fossil sources such as green hydrogen, green ammonia, biomass, and ethanol. Different consumption thresholds will be specified for different non-fossil sources and consumer categories.
Those who fail to meet the obligation of consuming energy from non-fossil fuel sources may be punished with a penalty of up to Rs 10 lakh. They may also attract an additional penalty of twice the price of oil equivalent to the energy consumed above the prescribed norm. The bill also empowers the central government to set up a carbon trading scheme.
In this, a target is set to reduce carbon emissions. Those who cut emissions beyond the target earn carbon credits which can be sold to those who are not able to reduce their emissions.
The central government or any authorized agency can issue carbon credit certificates. The energy-intensive industries, known as the designated consumers, are obligated to purchase or sell carbon credits, while any other person can choose to do so voluntarily. The third biggest change is to the Building Energy Conservation Code.
The building code sets the minimum requirements for energy efficient design. It applies to commercial buildings having a minimum connected load of 100 kilowatts or contract load of 120 kilovolt ampere. The code has now been extended to apply to new residential and office buildings as well. Other than prescribing efficiency standards, the code will now also prescribe standards for use of renewable energy and other requirements for green buildings.
The central government prescribes efficiency standards for equipment and appliances like refrigerators and ACs.
The amendment expands the scope to allow the government to specify standards for vehicles and vessels, including boats and ships. The failure to comply with standards will be punishable with a penalty of up to Rs 10 lakh. Non-compliance in case of vessels will attract an additional penalty of up to twice the price of oil equivalent of energy consumed above the prescribed norm. Vehicle manufacturers in violation of fuel consumption norms will be liable to pay a penalty of up to Rs 50,000 for every vehicle sold.
These are the key provisions of the bill. A full summary is linked in the description below. Follow along for more updates on bills, policy and parliament.